Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking with Unity. I'm your host, Max. With me are Phil and Jeffrey. It's great to be here, and we're going to be doing more Fight Go Right. Let's do this.
I can't stop. I won't stop.
All right, so on our last exciting episode. We had some cool stuff happen on the last episode.
I don't know
forgot.
if we do. Do we?
Yeah, do you remember?
No.
You don't remember?
No, my work has been crazy.
Okay, well.
Nukes everything out of my memory.
We got sorting to work.
Oh, yeah, I remember that!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
It was a really good episode.
That was fun.
I don't know why I can't punch this thing anymore.
But you can.
Oh, I know why I can't punch it anymore. It's because we had originally... Whoa, I forgot we had a jump. That's awesome. All right.
I don't think I was here when
I
that
forgot
was
we had a
implemented.
jump, too.
Yeah, so the reason we're not hitting it is because when we set this thing up, I set it up so that it would be behind, and so the collision's not actually matching with us. If we move it back, it won't do anything because it's got a fixed joint on it. But if we were to stop playing and not fight the fixed joint, we can get that to go. But now we don't have to do that anymore. Now we can actually have the collider right where it's supposed to be. We can just make the collider go into Z0. And now we can put it on the same plane as the player, and it'll just work. So if we just put this at 0, yep, that works. I think the player's at 0, yep, perfect. And so now we can punch the thing, and we will always render in front of it, even though we're actually right in the middle of it. Like if we were to look at here, you'll see that we actually are of the thingy, but we can actually see ourselves rendered at all times
Can
because
we put some
craziness.
text up if we get like a head punch that says "pow" right in the kisser?
Yes, maybe let's have a POW screen at the very least, like a Batman style one or something.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be awesome.
Pow.
So our big secret was
does it
at the
say
end.
still on the face?
What it took was.
Are we still on the face?
Are we still on the face? We're still on the face.
That's why I looked at the chat. Pow right in the kisser.
All right.
Now we could go over that again.
Yes.
Recap.
Brief recap. All right. So.
Can you
Recall,
save the scene?
recall,
Can you just
recall.
reload the scene and
Yeah,
have it
maybe.
as it was?
Yeah, just for the sake of continuity. Okay, here's how it was. It doesn't matter. It was like this. And there was a collider that was out, but we fixed that, so it's all
You
zeroed
should
out
show
now.
the jump because we discovered the jump again.
We discovered the jump. I had forgotten we had put jump in so long ago, but yeah, we've got this really broken jump that doesn't go high enough, but it does actually work. It's kind of a jump.
I kind of like how his legs.
Yeah,
Pop
kind of
out.
pop out. I'm much bigger fan of the 2-hit combo that we've got going on.
Should also make it so that punching bag can loop around and actually knock us.
Well,
down.
right now it can hit us. It's just
Yeah,
like,
I know, but it can't knock us
yeah, I
from
know.
the back. Can't hit us the fun way.
Well, we can't hit them the fun way either. If we hit it this way, it goes the other way. So
Oh, we need to fix that.
the punching bag was really set up as a test construct. I mean, I'm sure that
But
it will
this
be
is a
loving.
punching bag
I'm sure it
simulator
will be
now.
lovingly placed in a level somewhere. But like seriously, it's.
You don't want to make punching bags.
We'll fix it. I don't know. We'll fix it later though. That's not what I want to focus on.
Punching bag
So
go left.
anyway, we have this and we're rendering. So even when we're inside this thing, we render out after it. And the killing blow that actually caused this to work. Do you guys remember what it was?
The shader.
Yes, the
needed to
shader
have
needed to
the-
be transparent.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's because it needed to be in the same queue as the transparent queue, because all sprites are transparent by requirement in Unity 2D, Unity 2, yeah, Unity 4 point whatever when they added 2D. And the 3D objects obviously are not required, but if they aren't in there, they will always render one of the orders. I forgot. I think they always render before this guy because the transparent stuff has to render after. So all we had to do was change the thing to transparent diffuse as opposed to just regular diffuse. If we do regular diffuse again, if we hit play, you'll see that we get the actual intersecting effect. But if we switch this to, where is it? Transparent diffuse. We now render in front of it, and if we wanted to render behind it, we can change the sorting order. So, like if we put 1 here, now it will always render behind. So, what we were working on, the reason we were setting this up is actually so that we could have proper depth. The game that we're making is going to be very much in the style of 2D beat 'em ups, and so think the Ninja Turtle series where you have kind of a perspective background, but the game's actually 2D. We still might actually use perspective, maybe, but I'm going to start by doing it the old school way, where if you're higher up on the screen, you're technically further back, and we just work with it that way.
Yes, that's what I would expect.
So let's start with that, and then we can always try different approaches later. Certainly nothing stopping you from actually making the game 3D and moving back and forward within a plane.
Mm-hmm.
But we've done that plenty of times on the show. Well, not in this exact context, but we worked with 3D on the show. And so I'll leave that to you guys for the most part, unless we run into a big snag on this setup. So what we want to do is we need to make it so that these things will sort themselves based on their Z position. So let's make a script for that. Create
The Y position?
their Y position, you're right. Y position. Sort their Z position sort their sorting order by their Y position. We're going to call this order based on Y.
Why?
Because I love you.
Oh, that's very sweet.
All right. So, order based on Y. This doesn't
Why?
need any variables, I don't think. We're just going to go just dry into this thing. So, what's really nice is this value here, even though it looks like an integer, it is actually not an integer. Wait, no, it's an integer, isn't it? Oh, I hate you.
That one's a sorting. That one's an integer.
Yeah, that one's an
I
integer.
think you're confusing it with the layer number.
Yeah, that's the sorting layer, I believe.
That was something else that we did on the show.
Yeah,
on
hold
that
on.
other script.
Hold on. If I go to, like, the stickman body, and I go order and layer, and I do 0.5... No, that doesn't work. I swore that this was a float for some reason, but I guess it's not. Alright, it's an integer. That's fine, we can work with that, I think.
I mean, why couldn't
That annoys me, though. It would be so much easier as a float.
Do we need it as an int? Does it need to be an int?
I think it. Well, I mean,
What
this
is
is the
mono-
one that's built into the sprite
Oh.
renderer here, and it looks like it didn't take. Here, let me just double check in mono real quick. If we go to renderer dot order sorting order, it's public int. Okay, yeah. Never mind.
So
All
we
right.
can't do
So we
anything
can't do well. We can't do it directly, but that's fine. That's fine. So let's actually have a variable then. Public float.
Oh, good. Can't stop yawning.
What's a good name for this? Conversion. Float.
Float to int. Float.
Float to flout. Float to int ratio equals 0.001. Let's go with that. So this means we'll see what it means.
Multiplying by 1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Math
Except
F
the opposite.
floor to int.
But yeah.
Dividing by negative.
That's what-
by inverse
That's
of
what
1,000.
Cinecat
Yes.
says, by the way.
What was
Math
that?
F floor to int is your friend.
Yes, mathf floor to int is actually not our friend in this case because if we just did it at whole decimal values, we'd have popping at every unit. And our unit rate right now is... What is our unit rate?
Main camera.
Main camera... No, that's not where it is.
Well, the
It's in-
size is 5. 5
Okay.
units. So,
So,
10 unit
oh yeah. So we have 10 units vertical, so that would mean that there's only 10 discrete layers, which is not enough. So that's why we're going to use a ratio. And actually, you don't even need the floor. If you're using math.floor to int is...
You could just typecast.
you could just typecast it to int, and it would be exactly the same. So... So what are we doing? That is not something that's supposed to come up. Die. All right. So, update. So what we're going to do is renderer.sorting order equals transform.position.y times float to int ratio. I'm doing this wrong, aren't I?
Divided by float to int ratio. Or make the
Yeah,
ratio
make the other-
times 1,000 or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll just do 1,000.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then it doesn't have to be a float.
I guess that's true, but I'm going to keep it as a float.
Could you make it into a double?
Do you want it double? No.
You make it an unsigned.
We really don't need double.
No, we don't.
Is there such a thing as an unsigned float? I don't think that's true. I don't think it's a possibility. I forget. I don't even remember how to typecast anymore. I'm just going to use the ghetto one as
parentheses in front of the thing.
All right. Not as interactive cloth. let's save that. Let's just see what we get as an error. It's like I can't convert a float to interactive cloth. I don't understand.
Oh, I do.
There's no built-in conversion. We should write a conversion. All right, no. Int.
Float to interactive cloth.
So, I think we need that. I don't know, though. So, let's try that.
Probably could make a conversion for that.
I'm sure.
Oh, it can't be used with ints. All right, fine.
Square interactive cloth of a certain number of units
this
or
way?
something, or a certain number of vertices.
Is that the way it works? That's the way it works. There we go. Okay. So now,
crazy with
if we
make the decimal
put
part,
this
the number of
on
vertices
things,
the whole number of units or something.
so we need this on anything
That's
that
awesome.
has a render order. So that's going to be all of the parts. Wait, no, not the targets. All of the parts, which is as deep until we get to the arms. We don't only go arm deep. All right. What are we doing? So we're going to put add component order based on Y, and then we will do the same thing to our punching bag. We will add component order based on Y.
Maybe we should turn it into a parent script.
Like it affects all children or something?
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah. I was thinking that too, but so now we have this order in layer, and you can see that we're actually changing our order in layer slightly because the thing that counts as we are going to have to do it as parent because this is going to cause us problems. Yeah, you can see like the arm there we go. The head's kind of partially through.
Oh no! Oh, he's being decapitated.
Yeah,
he is.
So we are going to have to make it a parent thing. That's fine. So what we're going to do is order based on Y. All right. Start for each. For each. Wow, my brain's not on.
You can grab all the renderers.
Renderer, yeah. Render. This ren. Because we don't want to override our existing renderer. So renderer ren in get components in children.
If you called it renderer, then wouldn't it be using the
renderer,
the local for each one, unless you did base.renderer?
Yes, it would, but I generally shy away from actually.
So do I.
Yeah, from hiding local variables or hiding component variables and stuff. And you get a warning on it too.
It would be this.renderer.
Yeah, it would be this.renderer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Based for overrides and stuff.
Yeah, although base.renderer would probably work in this case too, because I think that the base class is what has the reference to the renderer anyway, and it would just still be the same reference. Don't do that, but you could. Probably.
Call it ren.
All right, just call it ren.
Cinecat says set the Z to the Y as a script component.
No, you don't want to set the Z to the Y, because if you set the Z, or the sorting order to the Y, you mean? Or the Z to the Y?
That's what he says.
Yeah. Now, again, we don't want to directly do it because it's an int. We won't get the proper resolution.
Z depth if you want infinite details, what he says too.
Yeah, but if you use... So the problem with that is... we run into the problem that we had before, right? Where we can be inside of a 3D object, and we don't want that. We want to be either in front of it or behind it. So renderer.sorting order. So ren.sorting order equals and float. Oh wait, that's not what we want to do here. We just actually want to add this to the list using use unzing. Okay, can't type today. System can't talk, can't type. What good am I?
Wait, we don't need a
collections dot generic. I need a list.
Well, can't.
No, yeah, you're right. I don't need a list. You're right. You're absolutely right. Actually, we can just do private. Yeah. Private ren list equals, I'm not going to call it renless. Private renderer.
No, I mean it's a renderer array.
Oh yeah, renderer array. Ren array. And so now we don't need a for each loop here at all. We can just do ren array. I actually forgot this last time when I was using a list too, that I could just set this. Ren array equals get components and children renderer. And then we do for each render ren in ren array. We do this. There we go. Nice. And we don't do that. We do ren. There we go. So if we save this, now we're going to go to all these objects that we already put this on. We're going to remove it. Remove component. And we actually want to do it at the player level, even though there's no renderer on this player. And the reason we want to do this is because it allows us to use our positioning and have it be consistent with other things, potentially. So we're going to have to change how this works, but this will be a good start. So we're going to put order based on Y on the player. And we're going to go to punching bag, and what is this one? This one also has order based on Y, perfect. If we hit play, so I'm behind it. Behind it, I'm still behind it. Is this working at all?
You should be in front of it right now, right?
Yeah. Order and layer. Alright, so I think that, okay, we have it opposite of what we want. So let's just fix that real quick. So we want times negative floating ratio.
Nice.
Alright, so now I'm in front, I'm behind. Alright, that's right, except for it doesn't look right, right?
Yeah, because
but that's easy to fix.
On the foot level, right?
So yes, so what we want to do on the punching bag is, right now the punching bag does not have a parent game object, and it probably should. So we're going to create a empty game object.
So empty.
Gonna put, actually, you know, I'm gonna create an empty child and then make it the parent. That's really gross.
It's gonna be so full.
Alright, so make an empty child and then make it the parent. So empty. Punching bag. Is this thing on? Are we getting audio?
Yeah.
Is anyone complaining about audio?
No one's complaining about audio.
Because I just saw this thing make a message and it scared me.
What was the message?
I don't know. I just saw a window on the screen of the microphone and it freaked me out.
I didn't see it.
Okay.
But it did get bright.
Yeah, that scares me.
Everyone, can you hear us?
Can you still hear us? Are we still broadcasting? Do we have audio? It looks like we have audio. Okay.
I don't know. I actually have flash off on my computer because of YouTube.
Yeah. That's good. You should have it off. So
I know.
What we want to do is raise the punching bag. So we're going to go whoop by 1 unit because, for whatever reason, cylinders are 2 units tall in Unity. And we're going to set this back down to where it was so that it feels right.
Yeah, they hear us.
And then if we hit play, so now we're in front of it, and it's still not good. And that's because we didn't move the script, because the script is very important to be at the root of what we're working on. So
yes.
Copy component, remove component, paste component as new, play.
So now it should be at foot level.
There we go. See? And now we don't cut in between. Like, I mean, it immediately cuts between, but we don't have anywhere we're partially obscured.
Yeah.
Yay.
Good deal.
So now we have ordering. Also, we broke our particles.
Yeah, we did.
For the same reason that, because we have sorting orders now that we have to deal with. However, I think you can add sorting to particles. Let's do that real quick.
Particle sorted.
Sorting order particles Unity. I think I ran into this. Question mark, question mark. All right. So yeah, you can just affect particle system.renderer. Excellent. So what that means to me is we can make a very similar script, except for based on the particle systems renderer which is weird, but it is a thing. So so let's do that. So let's order based on Y. Particles. Order particles. And we're going to do this as well. Particles. This is probably a really good case for having, class hierarchy, but I'm not going to worry about it for right now. It's actually not a really good case for it. It just feels like one. So for each, we can't do for each renderer and run array. We've got to do so particle array. Actually, I'm going to call it part array equals.
It's only a part of an array.
Part array. Actually, I don't want part array. Yeah, I mean I do want it, but we don't actually need it as we need it. It's not a renderer. We want particle system part array equals get components in children particle system, and then for each. This one I actually do need a for each loop. Particle system in part array.
Yeah. What are you gonna do with those particles?
Ren array equals not get components in children. Ren array equals no. Okay, now I want a list.
Runaway.
Dot generic.
Sounds like some kind of bug
lazy.
repellent.
So private renderer. We're gonna make this a list.
You can see that.
Of renderers. And I'm going to call it a list. Ren list equals new list renderer. And so ren list dot add particle system part in part array. Add part dot renderer. All right. Nice. And then we just change this to ren list, and we should be on our way. Save. So now if we put this on, can't convert. So we can't do the equals in this case, but we can do part array equals new. Wait, part array. Oh, I just have the. Of course, this should be an array. There we go. We called it an array, but we didn't make it one. Did that fix it? Yay! So now if we put this on our particles, which are in prefabs hit particle. So we're going to put scripts particle order particles based on Y into hit particle, and then hit play. In theory, it should work. Okay, well, theories are funny things, aren't they?
Yeah, it's still sorting wrong, isn't it?
Was there another trick here? It needs to be foreground. Wait, particle system doesn't have sorting layer. You can access them via script. Okay, so we need to set the layer name as well. So we're gonna go with default and see if that works.
Okay.
Are we all in default? If we go to punching bag, it says default, right? Using a really fancy method that automatically finds out. Yeah, it says default. Isn't that awesome? We had to work for that.
Yeah, that was.
We didn't have to work for that at all. Actually, we could have totally just looked down three more inches on a forum post, but
we had to work for it.
But we did work for it.
Yeah, we did work for that.
Yes.
And that's the important part.
We had to work for it the way we did it.
Yeah, exactly. Hard won. It was fun. I always like that type of thing. So what are we doing? We're just going to, while we're in here, might as well just do part.renderer sorting layer name. Actually, let's do dot sorting layer ID equals 0. Because I'm not sure if default actually has a real name. Because remember, we had to manually put that one in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still no luck. The script is on there, right? Okay, so I'll pause. Just make sure that the particles are showing there. Get particle. says order particles based on Y. All right, let's do a debug here. Let's do rin dot sorting order debug dot log that.
Nice.
Let's see if it's actually changing the values. Oh wait, we might be running into the exact same issue we were before, because I just realized our particles are actually additive, and that will probably not be in the same. Well, it might be.
It's actually giving us radically different numbers from.
Well, it should be pretty radical, right? Because they don't
Totally
all. They're not at the same Y value, and we're doing 1,000, which is more than we really need to do.
We're doing 1,000. Yeah.
So
those are within like 0.1 of each other.
yeah. So let's see here. So it is changing them. Let's see if it's actually the rendering problem. So let's go to the hit particle.
Cinecat says, guys, you're sorting from the feet. The particles are not.
Yes, that may be a factor.
Mm-hmm.
You though. All right, so let's look at what the player says. So the player is, let's see what the punching bag says, right? That's more important. So the punching bag is at 1782, and it will always be at 1782. So at what point do we get to 1782 with our particles?
Oh, there was.
Did it go on top?
Yeah,
it did. Sweet, it went on top. All right, cool. That's totally the only problem then. All right, cool. That's the only problem. So, we definitely want the particles to be centered. So, but we definitely don't want it on the player that way. That would be a very bad decision. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have an offset capability. So we're going to add public float. No, they'd be expecting that.
They'd be expecting.
I don't know what else to say. No, that's not actually the reason, but it just felt right.
That's how the game development approach should be. They'll be expecting.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a good design thing to do. So,
yeah, the punching bag is cool.
Right now, the way we're spawning these particles are spawn on hit. Let's see how spawn on hit works. All right, it just instantiates based on transform position. Object to spawn, transform dot position. All right, so this is actually on the hands when it's happening.
Maybe we should try passing the Y of the object that's spawning it.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The absolute parent of this thing.
The ultimate parent, if you will.
Do we actually parent these things? I don't think we parent them currently, but we could. Yes, we absolutely could. So let's do it.
The ultimate parent?
Yes, maybe even the ultimate parent. Now the problem with doing the ultimate parent, though. Okay, so here's the problem. So the problem with that is it means that we can never have like the player be parented to something else, because then it'll mess this whole concept up. So no, that's fine. Oh yeah, we'll just parent it to the player. I'm thinking about this too hard. I was actually going to parent it to the hand that was hitting, which is stupid. I'll just make it so that
play it to the.
So spawn on hit.
Can you change the Stickman name to Scatman, and then he could sing that song by Scatman?
No. Skibby-doo-doo.
Boop bada bop.
Okay.
Wait, when you do get component and parent, does it go up until it finds component in the parent, or does it go to the nearest one?
They added that recently, and I don't actually know the answer to that.
If anyone does know the answer to that, please let us know.
I'm sure that you can find that on the internet with a simple web search. So yes,
but I
please.
just wanted to ask the people because then we're
Go
just
people.
Gonna look.
Go people.
It would be easy to do yourself anyway. Just live through.
Yeah. Yeah. So
we could do that.
So spawn and hit. I want to keep this simple, so we don't want this to just.
I really like that program, except for when it does what it's doing right there.
It only happens on this show, I swear. Like I don't even have using monodevelop normally. Spawn and hit. I want to keep that simple. So we could do a script that dynamically reattaches the particle, but that would mean that we couldn't use a generic hit particle for both player and enemies. We'd have to have a separate prefab for those. I'm just going over options verbally here, just because there's pros and cons to a lot of different ways that you can make games. So,
it always is helpful to actually just vocalize what you're thinking.
Yeah. So,
I really do need to get a rubber ducky.
How about... I got it. I'm going to actually make it a child of the... What it's going to do is it's going to find the first renderer and the first parent that it can and mimic its Z position as opposed to calculating its own.
Okay.
So, yeah, let's do that. So let's call this... order based on parent. And actually, we'll save that. And actually, we want this actually to be called order of particles based on parent, because
so
there's two separate things. Yeah. Order of particles, and I just realized I'm going to have to type that in one more time now.
Are you?
Yep. Because I don't want to save that because it's a different file now, but then, order of particles.
Yeah.
All right, order particles based on parent. So what we're going to do is in start, we are going to set... Actually, we'll do update. That's safer. Update particle system dot renderer dot sorting order equals get component in parent. We only want one, just whatever one it finds. Renderer. Dot sorting order.
So theoretically, this is going to be the first renderer it encounters.
Yes.
That it's going to get.
Yeah. And then what we need to do is we need to change spawn on hit. I'm going to add a feature to it. I'm not going to change it. We're going to make it so that public bool parent to spawn on hit object spawn parent to transform equals false. And then what we'll do is object spawn game object instance equals instantiate as game object if parent to transform instance dot transform dot parent equals transform. There we go.
Nice.
Easy peasy. So now if we put this on the hit particle and we remove the hit particle, that will totally
the other hit particle thingy.
Yeah, remove order particles based on Y. And if we hit play, then still no good. No go. Is it still printing these? No, it didn't, naturally, because it doesn't have that script anymore. So debug.log render particle system dot render dot sorting order. Ooh, not looking good.
No, it's not. No,
they're not parenting at all. Oh, that's because I made it a bool and didn't check it. So we want if we go to the fists, our right hand and not right hand and right foot. We want right hand and left hand. We need to go into our spawn and hit and say parent to transform.
Aha.
So now. Oh, no, but we don't want that.
Oh, that's interesting because they're a parent object. Now the particle follows the hand.
Yeah, okay, so we don't want that. Didn't anticipate that one. All right. Not a big deal. I mean, it's a huge deal, but it's still also saying 0, so that's not good either. Why is it still saying 0?
No bueno.
Why is it still saying 0? Oh, because... No. This doesn't have a render, so it would go up. Does not. It has to be getting something because otherwise it wouldn't be able to assign anything. This would give us an error. So why is it still setting 0? That's silly. Printing out so many zeros.
There are a lot of zeros. Holy moly. Well, is it technically it's at 0 though because it's at the point of
no.
It
should have whatever the stick man and any of his body parts have. So like right arm right now, if we hit play, it should be should be 2093.
Oh, I see. But it's not.
But it's not.
It's
0.
That's pretty awesome.
So why not put this in spawn on hit and not parent it? Just put it.
Because then it makes spawn on hit really, really weird because it has a really specific thing. I wanted to try and keep this generic. We may fall back to that. That is always an option. Mm-hmm. So let me just poke at this a few more seconds here. So I just don't understand why this is not working though. Let's do another step here. Let's do transform. Actually, renderer parent ren equals get component children renderer, and then parent ren dot sorting order, and then debug.log that, and debug.log parent ren dot name. Just curious what it is. Save. So hit play. Oh. Parent is hit particle. Huh?
Well,
parent is hit particle.
Itself.
So wait, it
includes itself. Ah.
How can it be its own parent?
That is so convenient when you're doing get component in children, and so not convenient when you're getting components in parent.
Yep.
Wow. Sweet.
Yeah, so now we're gonna have to have an evaluation to say if
I'm not even walking down that rabbit hole right now.
It's not too
Wait,
bad.
just add.
You could say add
what?
Itself.
Wait.
I know what we'll do.
Can you do get component and parent off of transform?
Yes.
So transform.parent.get component and parent.
Transform.parent.get component would probably be the safest, but then transform.parent. Oh, .get. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
Sense.
Love it.
It sounds stupid.
No, I love it.
But it just might work.
Transform.parent.get component in parent. There we go.
In parent. There you are.
That way, if it's the fist, it will be fine because it'll go one up because the fist doesn't have a renderer and it'll totally find a renderer on the. Okay, yeah, that'll do.
That makes sense.
So I like that. Let's see if that fixes our problem at least. Save.
I hope it fixes our
play.
problem.
I think we still have one more problem to fix, but we have the problem of it being stuck on the fist. Yeah,
but
it does look kind of cool.
Like, okay, so It's kind of cool
It
to have
looks-
your fists on fire.
It looks like EverQuest nonsense.
I
Is
don't
what it looks
care.
like. It looks like EverQuest. It's like, let's put the particle emitters on the hands and just make particles. It's just awful.
Maybe they did it by mistake too.
They did. Everything they did in that game was a mistake.
They're like, no, we want to be wherever the hands were at the top. Oh, but I guess that looks okay.
Actually, it looked kind of cool when you were doing
did.
certain spells, but
It did.
if we were a caster, like if his hands were just glowing like that, that's one thing. But when they glow and then they stick, yeah, no, it needs to have the impact. So
Why is he casting? There's nothing to attack here.
excellent.
Fantastic.
All right, so I'm gonna do option D. So we're gonna go C# script. I actually did have an A, B, and C, but we're going with D.
Yeah, preparations A through G were a complete disaster.
All right, so detach from parents. This is actually a useful script, believe it or not, and we're going to use it right now.
Yay, we get to detach from the parent.
Yeah, save that. We like that. So detach from parent. In start, we're just like transform.parent equals null. Sweet. That's all this script does, and it's all it will ever do. I'm going to make it look real pretty because of that. Yeah. Alright, save. We'll never have to touch that one ever again. So, detach from parent. I'm going to eat those words. We're going to put that on hit particle, and then what we're going to do is go into project settings, because you typically want this anyway if you have a detach from parent script and understand the value of it. You probably want it to happen last.
Yes.
So we're going to make we're going to add detach from parent here, and we're going to make sure this happens after default time. So now, if we hit play, did we actually put this on the particle? Hot diggity, we did. All right, so now if we hit console, actually, we don't really look at the console. It's just going to work. It's just going to work. Oh, dang it. Didn't work. Null reference exception. Oh. All right,
Now
so...
the loop is still going.
Oh, wait, I want it to happen... Wait. It should be happening last, though.
Reverend Wolfgang just said public class patricide mono develop.
Oh, we're
It's
doing this on
racing
render.
update, though,
Yeah,
so-
that's what we want. Start. That's what we'll change.
Patricide. A public class called patricide.
I like it.
I think that's great.
All right. Play. Ha-ha!
Perfect.
And if we go up, ha-ha!
Fantastic. That's great.
Yeah, it works. It's a little convoluted, but it does work.
Pow! Right in the kisser. Do you think we're going to start fighting and going right?
Yeah, probably. So, by the way, detach from parent. So, the most common use case I've seen for that is, so say you have a really complex physics setup. So, I'm not sure if you guys have done much complex physics setups in Unity, but you can't have parenting in them. If you parent the objects, all sorts of bad things happen because you'll have a rigid body with a parent, and it'll like be dragging you down, and then you'll have a rigid body on the child, and it's like, oh, I want to go down too, or I want to change too, and then they all screw up, and then you move one with the transform, and everything goes. Yeah. So you have to have, if you have like a ragdoll, it's all these components that are not in a hierarchy. And so if you want to spawn a ragdoll, which we will totally do in this series, I guarantee we are going to spawn a ragdoll in this series. Detach from parent is so useful because you can make a prefab that has all the pieces, and then you throw detach from parent on there, and it just like bloop, it just goes away, and you have a ragdoll that works.
Yep.
So
shouldn't the script be named Emancipate?
Emancipate. There's a lot of things you could name it. Have fun. Name in the menu.
You can want to whatever you want. Like that's the amazing part about programming is like they're just variables. Everything's just variables.
They could all be characters from Simpsons, and that was actually the example used in my school of what to not to do.
Name all your characters Simpsons.
The computer does change all the names. That mean thing. It changed them into symbols that are like really short, and that's stupid. Why would it do that?
Why does it try to be efficient about it?
Or then you could be making stuff with BASIC back in the good old days where you'd see it in magazines and everything's one letter variables, and it's because you only had 64K of RAM and those characters mattered.
They really do.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's freaking sweet.
And it's sorting correctly?
And it's sorting correctly, and I can go like whoop.
That's pretty sweet.
You know, I don't even mind that it goes behind it because it's like you're
either.
further back. Of course, it goes a little behind it, and then it goes a little in front of it. Yeah, that's the side you're punching. I like that.
I think that's
Otherwise,
cool.
we could have just changed the transparency cue to transparent +1 in the shader for particles and had them always in front.
All right, so we got through that. That actually took, at the same time, less time and more time than I thought it was going to take. Because I really didn't think we were going to run into all those snags, and I also somehow thought this was going to take an hour. I'm really bad at judging time, evidently. So what should we do for the next 15 minutes?
Anyway,
what should we do for the next 15 minutes? Let's,
You know what we should do? We should try to fix a little bit of that jump.
Oh, my jump is fine. It's perfect. Look at it.
We could throw the enemy...
I mean, that's perfect.
Enemy AI in and see what it looks like.
Have you ever seen a more perfect jump?
And if all of their stuff is working. That looked cool. It was like you were... That actually looked like normal IK in a game where you're like close to a wall and you put your hand on the wall.
Yeah.
A normal IK. You mean Uncharted crazy IK?
Or Assassin's Creed, which has my favorite IK.
Oh, the
where there's a
touch.
really small hallway that you
Yeah.
can prevent the NPCs from walking through by the IK going against other characters.
That's hilarious.
It's wonderful.
Not gonna lie, I did spend like 10 minutes in Uncharted 3 just walking up against walls and
because he
standing
does
on
that.
dirt
Like,
piles and stuff, and
it's
his
so
leg
cool.
and like his foot and stuff. The way
It's really good. It's really
It is
good.
really cool, honestly. Like, yeah, that's really neat.
It's also hilarious, but at times, but it's actually pretty good most of the time.
You imagine the terrifying things you can do IK with horror games and stuff like that? It'd be
That's
so
what
cool.
I'm working on, kind of. Just a small project.
Yeah, that'll be so cool.
And it's probably going to be more silly, funny
Than scary.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is our hard-coded vector force thing.
Force on hit.
Yeah, let's fix this. Let's just go ahead and fix it because this doesn't even make any sense anyway. So let's figure out. Let's use what we're being triggered by to figure that out. So what we'll do is we'll go in the opposite direction of whatever's triggering us. It'll work in most cases. So we're going to need what we're triggering, which gives us a collider. By the way, so if you aren't using your collider or your collision, if you're using on collision enter, don't put it in here. It will actually call a faster version of the function because it doesn't actually calculate the extra stuff. But if you do need it, it's there. Collider, call is what we're going to call it because we don't want to overlap with the existing one. And what we'll do is we will do vector 3 force direction equals call minus we want this pointing towards us, so call dot position, no, call dot transform dot position minus transform dot position, and then what we will do is we will normalize this dot normalized.
I don't think Norm will appreciate that.
And then we just paste that in here. So if
He
we hit
probably
save
does
now,
a lot of normalizing.
I would say that Norm pretty much does. I bet he does do a ton of normalizing, actually.
okay, I think I have that opposite of what I wanted. Yeah, I have that opposite of what I wanted.
Well, it's just switch.
So
Switch.
yeah, just switch the terms here.
Just do the whole switcheroo here.
Loop minus and then
And that's the fun of programming.
yes.
Is that you just kind of like, yeah.
You don't have to
switch
know math.
things.
You can just guess and check. I
You
mean,
actually can.
what would it save me? Like 10 minutes of my whole career instead of guessing?
That is definitely the wrong way.
It is actually the right
Oh,
way
is it?
because
Oh.
see, it's where I'm hitting it. So we that, as I said, it'll work in most cases, but
neat.
obviously not in all cases. So we need to actually fix that. So what's another thing we could use instead of position relative to center. So
Oof.
the problem is...
Is there only one rigid body on the...
Right now, yeah. Just one.
Oh, I see, because you're hitting it on the right side.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
So you can get the rigid body from the collider on the fist, right?
Well, we could...
using that, you can get the center of the bounds, which is the center of the player.
You could get the position of the X position of the punching bag and determine
the
whether
player
you're
has
on one
no
side
rigid
or
bodies
another.
right now. I don't.
Why
think.
don't we do that?
What is it that has the rigid body?
Oh wait, maybe it does have a rigid body. Maybe the hands do.
Why don't we just
do, yeah.
judge by what the position of the player is versus what the position of the punching bag is, and determine whether or not it's on the left or the right?
Okay, but then we'd have to call it something more specific than force on hit, which I'm okay with in a pinch.
I mean, because this would work in both. You could just basically use this for whatever, for the most part. Like, and all the enemies are going to be following these rules. You're never going to really want your enemy to come towards you from a hit when you're on the opposite side of them. Like. You're not going to want that. So in the scope of this game, it seems like that would be an appropriate thing to do.
I'm going to levy a potentiality that we probably wouldn't do on the show, so it probably doesn't matter, so we can probably cheat it anyway, but I'm going to say it anyway. What if we have a back kick?
I don't think we will, but I don't know.
So many games have a back kick.
Final Fight didn't have a back kick.
No, Final
Double
Fight
Dragon.
had...
Yeah, Double Dragon didn't have a back kick.
Double Dragon absolutely had
Did
a
it
back
have a back kick?
Okay, maybe not the first one, but 2 did. Two had the control scheme where you could hit forward or backward based on A or B. And it was relative. It was not relative. Like A was always right.
Why would
B
that
was always
affect
left.
anything that we were trying to do? It was still based upon exposition.
Oh, based on the exposition of the player. I see what you're saying.
Exposition of the player versus exposition of
thinking,
wherever the enemies are. It'll work wherever.
Yeah, that'll work.
So that's what I was thinking. Is because it's going to determine whether you're on
the
the right or left side.
How do you determine what the player is?
The player
Based on the collider.
That's what I was trying to do, but that's why I was thinking that the rigid body was on the parent.
Yeah.
Because then it would take the colliders into account. We could probably get the rigid body of the parent and get the bounds from that. Why do we have rigid bodies on the hands?
Because they're moving objects. They're kinematic rigid bodies. We needed it for collision, so. And they're the only things that are currently colliding. Actually, that's not true. We have the body colliding as well, but the body collides with its own rigid body as well. Not the body, the main player. Is that where it is? Yeah, the player has rigid body as well. That actually should be kinematic. Why is that not kinematic? Wow. Surprised that we didn't run into a problem because of that. Okay, yeah, everything still works. Okay, yeah, that should definitely not be... hit
that
apply
is
on
tough.
That. I mean, we could always change the method that we're doing for this. I just wanted to see if there was some relatively clean way we could use this script and then make it so that it actually generally is right. I think this might be as right as we can make it without being more specific, though.
Force on hit is the script that goes on whatever object is going to hit another object?
Yeah, yeah.
So we could put a public transform variable.
Good point.
Good
point. That's actually clean. That's actually pretty clean.
That's public.
Public game object. Actually, let's go with the transform.
Yeah, we only need the transform.
What are we going to call this?
Owner? Yeah, owner would work. I mean, parent.
Force origin.
Okay, that's fine with me.
I mean, force origin. And then what we're going to do is void. We're going to make it so that it's actually pretty smart. So start. And what we're going to call this is force, or if force origin does not equal.
If it equals null.
Equals null. Then we set force origin equals transform. All right, and so I'm going to actually do. We're going to get fancy. Header, optional game object, optional references.
Oh. Yeah, I guess it is optional references. Huh?
Save. Oops, one more character I was missing. Save. Did I show you this magic?
The header?
Yeah, the header magic. Have you guys seen the header magic? So, like, if we go to our right hand now, it totally didn't show. Oh, wait, spawn on hit. Force on hit. Wait, what's force on hit? No, force is... Oh, we can't do it here. Wait, where is force on hit?
Should be on the hand.
No, it's actually on this.
That's
interesting. Right. No, it's not that interesting. That makes sense. I feel stupid now. No, I was thinking of spawn on hit. That actually works that way.
Oh.
But we could do it the opposite way, right? That might make more sense. Yeah, that makes more sense. Let's do it the opposite way.
Okay. Because then you can also tune the force to the fists. And
yeah, yeah. All right, so what we will do is on trigger enter collider call. So we're not going to do... All right, so instead we're going to do if col.ridgebody does not equal null. Boom, and this one will be not transform.position, but force origin.position.
Call.transform.position minus force origin.position.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
And call.rigidbody on the next line.
Oh yeah, thank you. Call. Alright, so now this works the opposite direction to work. So we're going to save this. We're going to remove this from this guy. Remove component. And then we're going to add it to the fists. So left hand and right hand. Both of these need to have force on hit. Okay, fine. Force. Looked like it wanted to for a moment, but it didn't want it hard enough. And then the force origin in both cases will be the player? Yeah. And... yeah, let's give that a shot. Although the player's not the best choice for this, actually. Let's actually put it on the body.
Cinecat says, you guys know most action games don't put colliders as the weapons. They make hitboxes that spawn at the point in the animation, usually large spheres or boxes.
Yeah, I know that, and actually we're basically doing that. If you look at what we've done here, our colliders we turn on as if they're a hitbox. And we could have any number of hitboxes if we wanted to get fancy on this. But yeah, we're actually doing it the same way. It's just not the... So, no, that's not true. We're doing it the Soul Calibur / what's the other series that does it like this?
Tekken?
Tekken actually qualifies for this too, but I was thinking of Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
They use a 3D collider system, which has hit moments basically, and so you go through and things are attached to the fist and stuff.
Quite like
we could do axis aligned bounding boxes if we wanted to, and we could make it so that each frame of an attack has a set of boxes for them. It's more than I want to deal with, and honestly, because of the way that we're doing the animation, we can get away with this. If you were doing it as custom art, it makes a lot less sense, because all of a sudden there is no hand, right? Like, if you draw a character 50,000 times with his hand in different positions, you can tell where his hand is. Like, as an artist, you can be like, his hand's right there. You could mark his hand, hey, his hand's there. But you're going to have to do that anyway, because his hand is not a hand. His hand is a set of pixels that happen to be in a certain place.
Yes.
And so since you're doing 2D anyway, you might as well, at that point, do hitboxes, because you're going to have to tag everything anyway.
Yeah.
But if you have a hand that you can reliably count on, hey, this is the position of the hand, and you can track that position as we do in this case, it makes a lot of sense to go with a 3D model. So
I have a suggestion of putting boob physics on the stick figure.
That's a great idea.
I think we'll consider a great idea.
Did that person see our...
Well, he actually says, Soul Calibur, you aren't going to give that stick figure boob physics, are you? And that is my opinion of a... That's just an invitation to physics. You know?
That looks like it's working.
Doesn't it seem like an invitation?
It does. Oh, absolutely.
So. Did he see the
Cinecat likes boob physics. He says more boob physics. So,
yeah,
the viewers have spoken.
Let's do Force 100. I'm not sure if they did, actually. I hope they did.
If you go to Vine and look at my Vine, which is the Magma Lemur one, you could find it. I think you've also retweeted it or retweeted it or something.
Revined it or retweeted it. Yeah, I tweeted it at some point. Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was funny, though.
Yeah, it is funny, actually. It's one of the few Vines that I've actually put on the internet.
It looks like it's working.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Very cool.
Ship it. All right. Let's save
Gold Master Candidate 1. All right, let's put that in the Perforce notes. GMC 1.
No. GMC -10 maybe, but GMC 1.
First playable.
You said ship it.
I will say I have written GMC 1 on things that I knew there was no way
GMCs,
in any possible way in any world that this would possibly be a GMC. I have written those letters.
Man, I really want boot physics in this game.
Silver
now.
Master Candidate.
I was told to write those letters. I'm like, you serious?
Said, yes.
Like, seriously? It's like, what are we on? GMC 14.
Another GMC.
All right. So
enough about Gold Masters. Jeez.
Yeah.
But Reverend Wolfgang said, "Cynical, what have you done?"
And
he said amazing things.
No.
Now I'm just reading the chat. Amazing.
Stuff.
GMC 1.
No.
GMC 1.
Collider work. Man.
The way you said, "What have you done?"
Did a
You said,
lot,
like, "What
honestly.
have you done?"
And some sorting.
GMC 1.
Wow.
GMC 1.
Look at the files.
GMC
Very
1.
files. All right.
No, GMC 1.
No. I already typed it and I had deleted it. It already happened. It had its moment. It had its moment of screen time.
You didn't type GMC 1.
I actually did. You could watch the video. You missed it.
As I was looking at the boot physics comments.
Okay. Of course you were. And that's an episode. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, please email pushypixels@pushypixels.com. You can also tweet me at Drakfire. That's DRAKFYRE. You should buy Phil's game, Robot Alone. It's awesome. I'm making it sound like it's not awesome somehow because it sounds like I got down at the end.
Okay.
But
all right.
He was there. He's a real person.
I'm a human being! I'm a fully capable human being. Hey, you should follow me on Twitter.
And Vine.
And Vine, yeah. Follow him. Vine him or whatever.
Sometimes I stream video games. You'll know about it on Twitter. You can watch it on Twitch. And you know what you should do, though? More than any of that, more than anything else you do today, donate to Cooking with Unity.
Yeah, we really appreciate the support. Patreon page, check it out.
Yep.
And pledge something. That would be awesome. And yeah, you guys have a great night. And I'll see you in the morning with Breakfast with Unity. I haven't put it on the schedule yet, but it's there. I'm going to be there at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So have a good one, and see you then.
Have a good night.
Good night.